Crop circle fever hit Britain in a big way last summer. The circles appearing in England were bigger, better and even more elaborate than ever before. The media had a field day, if you'll excuse the pun, but despite the wide variety of theories being bandied about, nobody has solved the mystery. The BBC had its presence there too, and we've exclusive footage of what became known as Operation Blackbird, an attempt to capture on film the appearance of this strange phenomenon. So do not adjust your sets. What you're about to see is exclusive, and it could have you going round in circles. In an attempt to catch a crop circle in the making, enthusiasts Colin and Pat Delgado set up Operation Blackbird, a high-tech surveillance operation.
Anything on those screens in there which suggests a point source, we need to record that, and very quickly.
7 special cameras watched night after night, perched on the edge of an Iron Age camp in Wiltshire. But would a circle appear in their range? Only 2 days later, their hopes seemed to have been answered.
It seems to be that this is a well-programmed and coordinated hoax.
It's funny for about 60 seconds, and then I find it very, very sad.
Genuine formations were popping up every day. Pat and Colin decided to call in experts from the BBC engineering department. Their only clue was the mysterious noise picked up by our film crew the previous year. But before their equipment could be put to work, there was one important technique they had to learn, as Pat explained to Steve Dunn, the BBC's frequency coordinator. The art of dowsing is an important skill.
First of all, you've sort of got to empty your mind and then try to think that an energy will show up. There we are.
Ooh,
yeah?
Yeah, there you go.
There? Now you've got the idea that there is an energy that is detectable by some means which is human to mechanical.
Yeah, now we need to get instrumentation in.
No,
Well, we'll see what we can do.
Roger Waldron, as sound engineer from Pebble Mill, was having some difficulty with his recordings.
We haven't been able to do too well. There's so much noise around at the moment.
Oh, dear.
The crew. I think I'm just going to have to come back later, really, when everyone's gone. We were forced to spend the night in the field. Our equipment was so sensitive that we just had to wait till everyone had left and the wind had died down.
But he was not alone. Nearby, the Skystalk night surveillance camera, operated by its designer Michael Carey, watched his every move.
At about 4 o'clock, we decided to wrap, and Michael came down from the caravan to help out, and he was looking around the lower circle of the two. You know, I was just recording some extra sounds to go with what we'd been filming during the day. There was a yelp from Michael. I said, "Roger, come down, quick."
It wasn't an electrical shock, because there was sound involved with it, but literally for a few milliseconds there was just a high-pitched sound, and that's the best way I can describe it. a very strong sound, but ever so short, which actually physically shook.
Back at Operation Blackbird, the hoaxes were still coming. This time, what appeared to be a UFO. Later claimed as a close encounter of the Virgin kind, with Richard Branson at the helm of the mother ship.
We still had a few aces up our sleeve. What the international media present were not aware of was that a low-profile army surveillance operation of a covert kind was in full swing on another prime site very nearby. Their high-technology equipment did in fact record an airborne component which, when analysed, may well be significant. A telephone call from Blackbird surveillance had us speeding once more into Wiltshire to have a look at new circles which had appeared to the east of the site, 3 of them just below the ridge, and indeed where we've seen them in previous years. And when did you hear this whooshing noise?
Well, I was sort of looking at the landscape and looking at these columns of mist because I felt a bit disturbed by them.
Yeah.
Because I felt there was a presence there. And I kept looking back to the other side of the sky where I'd seen a flash previously. So I was kept drawn back to the columns of mist. And then suddenly I heard this rustling noise, which seemed like movement on grass or crops.
Once the circle had been authenticated by Pat and Colin, the BBC engineers moved in to try some new tests. Steve Dunn and Tony Pearce pick up the story.
We're actually able to pinpoint, using dowsing, where the hot spots were. I mean, we didn't have Pat with us this afternoon. It was quite interesting. We were able to find them ourselves.
Yeah, so we found 2 spots in the large circle, and both of those corresponded to these large DC shifts, the voltage shifts. So we tried actually putting the aerial onto a tape recorder. So we got a signal. It's just like a series of tones.
The following day, this bizarre formation appeared in full view of Operation Blackbird. One camera was pointing in that direction. The picture it recorded is not clear enough to make out the formation nearly 2 miles away, but it is still being analysed.
This is artistry. This is like a cosmic finger drawing pictures in the fields of southern England. I believe the complex markings that we're now looking at are the discharge patterns associated with the interface between this dimension, the world that we know quite a lot about now, and that we know nothing about. Something very extraordinary is happening, there is no question, and I do believe this is leading to something very much more extraordinary yet. The aerial phenomena is yet to come.
Oh, do you know, I think that they're real. They're too big and too perfect.
And when you see them from the air, you suddenly realise how perfectly shaped they are.
And you'd have to be in the air to make them, wouldn't you? You couldn't
who
go...
knows, who knows? But Pat and Colin will hopefully be enlightening me a little later.
I can't wait to find out. I'm all of a doodah now. Well, there have been loads and loads of theories as to how those circles form. I mean, people have suggested everything from UFOs to hedgehogs on the march. But we want to know, what do you think? Have you had a crop circle appear in your area? Have you seen one forming? Or, heaven forbid, have you made one yourself? Ronke's been finding out. Any interesting calls, Ronke?
Loads, Debbie. Katie Jordan's called in from Chester. She thinks farmers are doing it with their tractors for attention. And Janet Hargreaves from Shropshire says it's a manifestation of ley lines.